lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Racing Media Network. We are live here from the Milwaukee Mile for a beautiful Tuesday evening of racing. We are coming to you with the Extreme ARCA Series, the Elite Entertainment ARCA Series as their main sponsor tonight. I am joined today by my fantastic partner here, Matt Metler. How are we doing today, buddy?
Man, I am doing great, man. The sun is down. The stars are up, which means it's prime time for the Milwaukee Mile, ARCA style, tonight. Let's get it done.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it. This track always knows how to put on a great show. Did so for the NASCARs coming here for the very first time in the NASCAR Cup Series. So that was pretty awesome seeing that this year. Or not the first time, but, you know, obviously NASCAR coming back after some time. Nonetheless, getting to enjoy it here on iRacing for some fantastic racing. A very, very flat track. Not quite, it's flatter than I'd say they were at Iowa last week. So almost hard to believe that we're going to go from Iowa to something even flatter. But last week's winner was GT Hawkins putting on the victory at Iowa. We'll have to see if that transfers over at all. Nothing much more similar racetrack-wise. This is maybe it being slick, but aside from that, I mean, it's all about it's a pretty much larger racetrack here.
Now, you're certainly right, Angel. That much larger racetrack, and it's hard to imagine, like you were saying, we could get any flatter of a surface, but that's what we got tonight. And getting back to last week's winner, GT Hawkins, if I recall his name correctly, that man was on a rail. And I'm a firm believer that momentum breeds momentum.
Oh, without a doubt. Yes, I do absolutely agree on that. It's called momentum for a reason. So, especially, now with the current points lead for GT Hawkins, he'll be excited to do so with that. We're going to have about less than 2 minutes left in qualifying here. So as these drivers wrap it up, only a couple drivers who have yet to put in a qualifying lap. We're going to go ahead and go over our race info for this evening. Once again, the Elite Entertainment ARCA Series. We want to say thank you and show our gratitude for Elite Entertainment for being the title sponsor for this league and helping move them on to, being able to put this together. I know Ed Morris was very happy about getting an ARCA league back together for Extreme. So here we are, Milwaukee Mile. Again, 1 mile flat surface oval. We're looking at an ambient temperature of 73 degrees. Track temps at 78. Was a little warmer earlier before they started qualifying, around 80 degrees. So it looks like it's dropped a little bit. A little windy, 10 miles per hour, 44% humidity. I feel like this track is might see some changes as the day is over. What are you thinking here, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said it right off the bat. The temperature started off on the warmer side of the spectrum, but as the night goes on, that track temperature is going to come down. When the track temp comes down, that means the grip level comes up. The other side to that is we're dealing with the green racetrack. So as the practice laps, wind on, we're into qualifying right now. As the rubber gets laid down over the course of that run tonight and being a flat surface, I'm going to be looking to those crew chiefs on top of that pit box, trying to manage the track and stay on top of the changes. Because if you start out of the box fast here tonight, I don't think if you get caught sleeping on your car's adjustments, you're going to be around at the end. So I think this is going to be a total group effort, not only on the driver, it's going to be on the teams as well to make those brake calls on the adjustments on that car to be there when it counts, and that's usually with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, and speaking of looking towards the end, we are here at the end of our qualifying session. So we'll go ahead and bring up our grid for tonight's race. And you see Ed Morris is going to be qualifying here on pole with a blazing 30.580, almost just over 1.5 tenths over your second place qualifier James Shane Wolf. Michael Larch and Michael Thwaite's going to make up round number 2. GT Hawkins, last week's winner, and Sean Corcoran going to be starting in P5 and 6. Justin Anasagok, the guy who's finished in 3rd place in each of the first 2 races, going to go ahead and restart starting on the inside of row number 4 with Alexander Brown to his outside. Wesley Jeanette and Randy Cruder are going to go ahead and make up row number 5. And then Dean Gagliano and Jeremy Horn are going to make up row number 6. Ooh, there we go. Let's hit it all the way. Row 7 is going to belong to Clayton Hack and Adam Capps. Bobby Doyen and Greg Carr going to make up row number 8. In 17th and 18th go to Jaden Darling and Brandon Bass. Jude Trader, Rick Christensen going to make up row 10. And then the final row 11, going to belong to Ed Moore Sr. and Corey Darr. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't get in here briefly. Let's see. Our pole sitter for tonight's race, Ed Morris. Let's see.
Yeah, that was quite a lap laid down by Mr. Morris.
We'll see if I hit him into the right one. Ed, this is Angel and Matt here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got us, buddy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Well, I just talked to you just a few moments ago before this all got started, and here you are starting on pole for tonight's race. Before you go green here, what can we expect for this race tonight, and what is your plan to go home and bring home the victory?
My plan is to stay right where I'm at. Just be consistent, hit my marks. Setup's a little loose, and the car is very easy to overdrive. So just keep my head in the game and keep the guys behind me, and that's the plan for tonight. Stay out of trouble.
Oh, fantastic. And we do see it looks like the lights are off on that pace car, so we'll let you go. Good luck tonight, and we'll see if we're talking to you by the end of this one.
Appreciate it.
All right, that was pole sitter Ed Morris from Bloomingdale, Georgia. I'm going to hope we put him back into the right spot. I think I did. So here we are, Matt, getting ready to go green flag racing.
Yeah, like he said, he's starting P1, certainly wants to do everything to stay up there all night tonight. Let me switch gears here really quick on the technical side of things. I'm having a minor tech issue here on my end. For whatever reason, I am looking at the studio feed and not necessarily the live stream feed coming off of your end, sir.
Well, caution's out almost immediately as they didn't get through 1 and 2. Looks like there on entry of turn 1 is where we're going to have a pretty big crash. And it looks like this is centered maybe around Dean Gagliano. We're just going to have to see. Oh, going to raise not the view we need to see. Hold on just a moment. So we're going to focus in on that 18 of Dean Gagliano. Looks like he's going to be that gray car on the bottom. Oh, just wasn't sure where the 74 Wesley Jeanette was going to stop. And there's a stop in that wall right there that if you hit it at just the right angles, you see Gagliano did. It just stuck him there. And everybody behind literally just absolutely nowhere to go there. Oh, that's absolutely unfortunate.
Oh, man, that was a violent impact there. Yeah, like you said, that car just stuck and just came to a dead, like running into a rail. That couple of cars there got helicoptered, just nowhere to go. You know, just starting off the race, barreling down into turn 1. You know, everyone's amped up, ready to kick this race off, and certainly didn't expect that.
Not at all, no. But hey, crazy things happen. Again, that's something that happens at a place like the Milwaukee Mile, where they've got that wall right there, where it just opens up a little bit for the turn, and you see what happens if you hit it at just the perfect angle. While we have an opportunity here, before we forget, once again, thanking the title sponsor for the series, Elite Entertainment. Then we're going to have the company building the setups, as Ed Morris mentioning, a little loose here. And last week, the big praise they got, I may have probably mispronounced their name last week. So if I did so, my apologies. I do believe it's Agent Inc. Racing for the correct name. And then, of course, thanks to Transcendent Designs being the graphic designer for the series. So very much appreciated to those people. You see their logo on the bottom left corner of the screen going throughout the broadcast for what they do, not just for sim racing, but for this league itself, and allowing them to put on the show that they have. Because, boy, the last 2 weeks have been some pretty good racing, as I'm sure you remember last week from Iowa there, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a barn burner for sure. And I look to see the same high-level caliber racing tonight from these guys. Again, the night time's the right time. Let's see what these guys do. Lights off on the pace car. Let's fire them back loose. Looks like the 7 car is going to have the button.
For those of you watching on our YouTube, once again, thank you. Matt, go ahead.
Now, Angel, just remember, once again, I got about a 5-second delay here. So I'll let you handle the restarts, just because I'm a little behind on what you're seeing and all our awesome viewers are seeing.
We'll get started. Ed Morris with a massive restart. He's going to easily jump to the lead. It'll be the battle for second. Note, the battle for third as James Shaneworth clears for second. Now battle for fourth as they're side by side. You see them go throughout the field here, trying to get themselves singled out. As side by side here is just unpleasant. It's hard enough to drive around this track single file, let alone with another car next to you, not allowing you to hit your marks where you want to.
Yeah, this ARCA car is very aero sensitive, and when you're 2x2 just going green, especially with the line at this race, the optimal line here is going to be able to come right down, hug those aprons, and then throttle off the corner and come out towards the wall. And when you're 2x2 stuck in traffic, it's going to make it really dicey. That car is going to be a handful, especially on full tires.
See these cars come flying down the backstretch here into turn number 1. Turn number 3. Ed Morris was the quickest of your drivers on that the first lap from the restart. We'll see lap number 2 if he's gained or lost anything on James Shaneworth. Note, James Shaneworth will be the fastest this time around by almost a tenth quicker than your leader, Ed Morris. You're going to have to start managing these tires as well. You want to get out there, put some distance between you and the guy behind you, some leeway. Oh, we got one car loose there off of turn 2, sideways down the backstretch. That's the 55 of Adam Capps. He's going to lock those brakes down, keep it from hitting the wall. He may have just give it a small little love tap, maybe a kiss at best. So, aside from maybe some her ego being stuck in the back right now, he's going to make it out of this one with a fairly clean car.
Well, if this was a draft competition, I would give that a 10. He was walking it out. We got someone spinning off in the grass. I believe that was the gentleman that was letting that ass of that car step out. It was like you were saying, tire management here is going to be critical. You know, flat racetrack isn't going to do those Ford General tires any help. And it's really easy to burn off that right rear. So tire management, equipment management is going to be pivotal, Angel.
I'm still going to have to get used to saying this General tire instead of Goodyear tire. You know, but we do like iRacing, seeing that iRacing is doing the right thing and by a company like General Tire and getting them on the on their software. You know, they are part of that ARCA league right now, and it's a vital part for them.
I believe they're one of their title sponsors or a very high up subsidiary sponsor. And as you know, Angels, sponsors are everything. You cannot do this. You cannot put this product on the racetrack with all these different companies, men and women, that make this all possible for you guys, especially to watch all this awesome high-impact racing right here.
As you saw Ed Morris, your leader, just a little sideways there off of turn number 4. Is my favorite view as always. We're going to go on board here, and we're just going to give him a moment. Listen to this. That is loose right there. Wow, what a perfect time to go on board and seeing those hands at work there for Ed Morris.
Oh, your timing couldn't have been any better going on board. And you can't get textbook any more than that. Hands biting at the wheel. But that's how you save it.
I'll say, look who's in second place, chasing him down. Winner last week at the very flat Iowa, coming to an even flatter here in Milwaukee. Just hitting his corners just perfect, riding right along that white line there at the bottom. He picked up about 8/100ths of a second that last time around. I think he might gain a little bit more than that as they dive down here into turn 3. Working that steering wheel early on, but seemed to keep it very straight on entry.
Yeah, straight on entry is actually not going to be a bad idea, especially over the long run. That's going to help your right rear out tremendously, keep the temperatures down. And with this model update, it's all about tire management and specifically the temperatures. You start getting those tires up there in the high 200s, that's totally going to mess up the molecular structure of that rubber compound, and it's going to go from grip to slip in a hurry.
Oh, easily, yeah, without a doubt. So as we mentioned, just trying to save your tires, manage your tires best you can here. I mean, this is one of those tracks where it's just it seems so much bigger than a 1 mile track. Like, how is this the same size as Dover distance, I mean, it's almost unreal, but it just feels like such a large track. So it really allows guys to get spread out, sprung out, and it really gives and bodes well to those who know how to save their tires. You see GT Hawkins just almost tapped the wall there off of turn 4. As he is just pushing that thing right through there. He was about 10 slower that last time on Ed Morris, probably because he had to get off the throttle to not smack into the wall.
Well, this is right at that point in time through the run where those tires are going to start to evolve and go away. So look for these drivers to start to adjust their line. See these guys coming out towards the far side of the wall, arcing that in the corner, getting a little bit of the brake, potentially help set the nose of that race car. And they're going to be feathering that throttle coming off. Otherwise, you might see what happened to Mr. Hawkins there. little love tap.
Well, you know what is one thing that I do love about a race that gets sprung out? It gives us our best opportunity to really focus in on some of the other battles that happen throughout the pack that sometimes we don't always get to see because we have to focus on so much of the action up front. But getting to see this, and right now I must say, the 43 is Sean Corcoran. Look at this beautiful 43 paint scheme of his. Very reminiscent, of course, to that of Richard Petty's. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of a closer up view, and I just love that blue. It's got that real nice metallic sparkle to it. Actually, I cannot believe someone successfully did that, even just on iRacing. That thing looks beautiful.
You know, I was gonna even mention how good that paint scheme looked tonight, and I love the modern flair. A little bit of metallic in that Richard Petty blue, like you were saying. Oh yeah, you got a little bit of a matte finish on there, a little metallic. Got the sun reflecting off of it. That STP machine's looking bad tonight.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just say this now. That 43 is going to get my SRM paint of the week. Beautiful, beautiful paint scheme there. Just like you said, it's a little bit of a recreation, doing some modern flair to it, and really it's just going to stand out here in the beautiful sun here in Milwaukee. As you see, run down through the field here, about 20 laps in. We'll give it here a couple more laps as you see some of these guys trying to search throughout the field as GT Hawkins is now down to 3.5 tenths behind Ed Morris. He's looking to reel off back-to-back wins here in the Elite Entertainment ARCA Series.
You know, just to elaborate on that, this is one of those tracks that allows your technical drivers to showcase their talents. This track isn't about just matting it to the floor and holding onto the wheel. These drivers are going to be working every aspect of that race car over the course of their run tonight. So look for the guys that know how to finesse a vehicle, use that brake, and use that throttle pedal to their advantage. You should see those guys progress towards the front over the course of this race tonight.
Well, you know, Hawkins himself, going back to him, he's on a little bit of a streak himself. He's not only did he win last week here at Iowa, he won as well in the Cup Series on Tuesday nights, also here on the Sim Racing Media Network at Richmond. So winning in both of the leagues, he's looking to take home a third win in a row here in the Extreme Motorsports family of leagues.
You know what? If you're sitting there and you're on, you know what? Why not get another win? Wins breed wins. Momentum keeps that momentum going, like we were saying earlier. And what I seen last week out of that guy, I don't count him out. I consider him a favorite.
Yeah, considering a favorite is absolutely the way you have to go with it. I mean, these guys just put on such a good race in the process of it. You know, of course, we have our good friends who do get to broadcast that Rick Tech Cup Series. Used to be the Rick Tech Truck Series, also broadcasted here on the Sim Racing Media Network. So, kind of moving around the sponsors, doing different things with it. You absolutely love it, as this first two cars have really closed in with each other now. Only 2.5 tenths between the two, and then about another 1.6 back to that third place driver, James Shanewolf.
You know, I love what Hawkins is doing right now. He's staying just far enough back to make that leader, Morris, look up in that rear view mirror. And you know what I'm going to say, Angel. When you start rear view mirror driving, especially on a technical racetrack like this, you're going to start making mistakes. Little intimidator move going on right now. I like it.
Well, you have to be willing to be intimidated to be intimidated, I have to say, because that 7 has held strong so far in front of that 14 this entire time. Hasn't flinched an inch. If anything, you see the car may be starting to lose a little bit of that traction, but hey, that 14's also been sliding around a little bit as well, as they are now almost 24 laps into this race.
Yeah, forward bite is definitely going to be a premium tonight, and that is starting to go away. But look what that 14's doing right now. He's running either a half a step to the left, half a step to the right of that line the 7's running, trying to play that arrow to his advantage.
As you say that is when you see the 14 look to the bottom there of Ed Morris. Ed is not really going to put up much of a fight, knows the 14 is faster, going to go ahead and let him on by right now with a 1.8 second lead over third place. Looking pretty solid if they can hold on to it. Speaking of third place. Oh, wrong one. We got a battle for it. James Shane Wolf now has Alexander Brown to his back bumper. Alexander's up 4 spots, looking to make it 5 spots now if he can take it away from James Shane Wolf.
That's right. Knocking on the back door. It's not delivery. It's Brown searching for a crack of daylight. He is hungry. He wants that position. Angel, I'm telling you, if he gets the opportunity, he's going to take it.
Yeah, speaking another battle we just happen to have on track as well is your third place finisher from the last 2 weeks, Justin Anasagok there in the number 88 Axalta Toyota Camry. Gonna do all that correctly, I think, together for the first time in 3 weeks, as he is currently all over the back bumper there of the number 80 of Randy Kruder. Kruder up 2 spots from his 10th place starting position. Justin currently down 2 spots from his 7th place starting position, looking to make up some spots here as they have now completed 26 laps of the 140 lap event tonight. Speaking of, we'll go back here to your battle for third. You have 140 laps in tonight's race, only 4 total tire sets. That includes the set that they had to start this race on, the one they are currently on. So they are going to average about 35 laps a set of tires if they want to make them last all, throughout the entire race without leaving a set there in the pits. 75% fuel mileage though for these guys, so they'll be able to go longer than 35 laps than the tires do. So it'll be more so when can I get tires is before when can I get fuel.
Yeah, tires are going to be a hot commodity on the radio tonight. Every time I go down pit road, I'm going to be telling my crew chief, give me 4. I don't want 2, especially with the way the balance of this ARCA car works. A lot of times, 2 tires on the ARCA car is going to start off extremely loose. At a racetrack that already tends to be loose, that's not the way you want to go. I'm going to want 4 Dr. Feelgoods every time I come down pit road.
Oh, without a doubt, I could not agree more. They're going to want those fresh tires. The question is, will they have enough of them at the end? And who's going to pull some strategy? I mean, I don't know. With the way this race is going, I would not be pulling any strategy of staying out on tires. Give me tires and keep me with the lead pack. Because there's already, between first place, we've already got 2 cars a lap down there. And we're going to have a 3rd car with Edmore Sr. staying to the inside and being respectful of your leaders. So, 16 cars still in the lead lap, a 27, almost 28-second gap from first back to the 16th place car. This race is only going to continue to spread out even more, which means you're going to have every advantage you can get.
Right, and this is the point in time of the run right now. We might start to see some takers on pit stops, start the first pit stop sequence of the evening. Outside of that, whoever does a great job or a better job than the other competitors in saving their tires, now is the time we're going to start to see that manifest on the racetrack. Look for those guys moving to the front. On the flip side, if you were a little too hard on your on those tires earlier on, you're going to start skating back in a hurry.
Well, and also what's going to be interesting, having to make green flag pit stops here is not easy whatsoever. You see these drivers come off of turn 4 right there. It's a very sharp left. There's no access road. There's no painted lines. It's just you're coming off turn 4. Boom. There's an opening for pit lane, and if you missed it by just a couple of feet, you're into the tire barrier or in the water barrels there. And as you can ask any one of our 2 or 3 cars involved in that first incident of the day, there are no fast repairs, so their night would be over rather quickly.
You bring up a great technical point there, Angel. This pit road is hard enough to hit at caution speed, let alone at lap speed. You already got a good amount of wheel cranked in that race car, and that car is pretty much on the edge. Now you're going to want to try to get down pit road, get down to that pit road speed, I believe, of 35 miles an hour. It's very easy to lose the tail of that race car. Hopefully, we don't see any of that as we start to see the first round of pit stops underway.
Yeah, we'll have to see when that moment in time happens. Right now, GT Hawkins, your current leader. We're going to go ahead and take a brief break. Got to go ahead and pay the bills here at the Sim Racing Media Network. So we'll be right back for everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here from the Milwaukee Mile. Currently watching our 18th battle for position on the track between Ed Morris Sr. in the number 5 and the number 45 of Corridor. We're going to go ahead and looks like we'll probably go ahead and do it right around here in the next couple laps. We'll do you a rundown through the field. Right now, below GT Hawkins, currently still your leader, Alexander Brown, and Ed Morris. Currently your closest battle on track, as GT Hawkins is pulled off to about a 2.5 second lead, and Ed Morris and Alexander Brown stay battling side by side for second, as a very close James Shanewolf is going to go ahead and make it a 3-way battle here for second.
Yeah, and look at all these different race lines starting to come into play. You got some guys that are committed to the bottom, just hugging that inside curbing there like a laser, a slot car around the racetrack. Some of these other guys getting creative, seeing if they can find an advantage, running the wall on the outside.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually had that work. I don't know if maybe these guys are just lap cars getting out of the way, but I've never seen the outside really work here. So I don't know maybe what their plan is. They must really be struggling with the race cars. You see that 7 slide out of there of turn number 2. I don't know if he was on purpose or he was just holding on to it for dear life, because that thing was not looking good for a moment there coming off of 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. I want to go with the second option, and I'm going to say that was gritting your teeth, holding on from dear life. And that's just indicative of the tires just being absolutely scorched right now. We're looking for some pit stops to start unfolding here, I would think sooner than later.
As you see the 1 of James Shanewolf to the inside of Alexander Brown, that number 69. Doesn't even necessarily mean that the 1 is that much faster than 69. The 69 may not just be fast enough to pass Ed Morris. You can be fast enough to catch a guy, but are you fast enough to pass him is another question. I think that might be what some of these guys is. You see that 69 and the 1 super loose there off of turn number 4. Wow, great job save for both of them, but that's going to allow Ed Morris to pull away by about half a second. Give him a little bit more breathing room.
Oh, man, what some heads-up driving by these guys not to wreck there. But like you were saying, Angel, you got to be fast enough to catch that guy. But are your tires good enough to make the pass? What I mean by that is, well, there's only a couple ways around these guys, and if you don't want to drive through them, that means you typically got to outbrake them just a little bit, and you got to pick up the throttle a little bit sooner. And when these cars are on the edge, you try to do that, and necessarily sometimes around you go. And that's just why it's so important to manage your equipment, race the racetrack, not yourself, be around at the end, take the positions as they become available. Patience is key.
As we get through here, laps, just finishing lap 40, about to complete lap 41, as you see the 14 of GT Hawkins come across off of turn 4. We'll go ahead and give you a rundown of the field. Excuse me. We'll start off here with leader GT Hawkins up 4 spots from his top 5 starting position in tonight's race. From Columbus, Ohio, winner of the last 2 Extreme Motorsport League races, that includes the Rick Motec Cup Series, also here on Tuesday nights, as previously mentioned, winning last week at Richmond, winning last Monday night here in the Elite Entertainment ARCA Series at Iowa. Ed Morris, one of the chiefs here in charge of how everything runs, does a great job. It really does allow us here, the broadcast booth, to be to give us much clear, helpful information as possible. And so he goes through a lot of work. Nice to see him running here in the second position from Bloomingdale, Georgia. James Shanewolf currently in the 3rd position. He is running in that number 1 car. Looking pretty good right now for Shanewolf. He was our 2nd place finisher last week to GT Hawkins, and with that allowed himself to move to moved up 4 positions in the point standings after the first race to the second race, and going from 8th to 4th. Alexander Brown there in the 4th position from Barrie, Ontario, Canada. I hope I said all that correctly. He is currently running in 5th place. Sorry, we got Michael Thwaites in at number 12 from Westminster, Maryland. Sean Corcoran, he is currently in that number 6 position, exactly where he started. One of only 3 other drivers to still be in that same spot they started. Good looking 43 paint scheme as mentioned before. We got Michael Larch. He is here from Mantua, Ohio. I hope I said that part correctly. Randy Kruger running in 8th from Johnstown, Ohio. Man, we got a whole bunch of Ohio people here. This is a whole group of people. Justin Adisagok, he is from Kenai, Alaska, so okay, a little further out. Thank you for joining us here, Justin. Rick Christensen currently rounding out your top 10. Actually, your biggest mover of the race. He started back in 20th. I do not believe he put down a qualifying lap, and he's now all the way up to the 10th position. So keep an eye on Rick Christensen if we get a late race caution anytime. Jeremy Horn currently running in that 11th position. He last week had himself a pretty decent week, as a matter of fact. Well, sorry, the first week had himself a pretty decent week. Last week was a 12th place finish. Definitely was hoping for more. Still, however, 3rd in the point standing, so looking to continue to build and add to that. Drew Trader is in 12th from Carlinville. Unfortunately, all you folks, I do not know enough about geography to know where that is. In 13th is Greg Carr from Queen Creek. Same thing, couldn't tell you there. Good looking number 24 paint scheme, however, for Greg. Adam Capps, as mentioned earlier, he's recovered nicely here to the 14th position after exactly where he started after his unfortunate situation to start the races. He's going to go ahead and let some of the other leaders go on by. Bobby Doyen in the number 15th position from Green, Maine. Brandon Bass, the number 27 car, currently running in 16th. Jaden Darling, currently running in 17th. Ed Morris Sr. is in 18th. Actually, Brandon and Jaden there trading positions for 16th. Ed Morris Sr. from Bloomingdale, Georgia as well, currently running in the 18th position at 62 years old. Corey Darr running in the 19th position, and he's actually your last car currently on track. Wesley Jeanette and Clayton Hack have retired for today. Is Clayton Hack from Tavares, actually? That's not too far from where I am, Clayton. Hopefully get a chance to talk to you again soon. Dean Gagliano has not exited his car. He is looking to hope to make a comeback. Would allow him one extra point if he can get back out there, hopefully in front of Wesley Jeanette, who was able to complete a couple more laps but decided to take it to the garage.
Well, how about these Ohio boys tonight putting on one heck of a show, specifically in the lap times. I mean, you mentioned it, Angel. A lot of these cars already a lap down, and that's indicative of the pace that's being set right now by these front runners.
Yeah, without a doubt, these people they're just flying right now. Obviously, GT Hawkins currently with a 3.4 second lead there over Ed Morris, who's hung on nicely for the second position. Strong battle on Alexander Brown and James Shaneworth that caught him, but once they started battling each other, he kind of pulled away and it's kind of slowly built that lead. But here it is, our first taker, 50 laps into the race. It is James Shaneworth pitting from the 3rd position.
Yeah, you know, I would have thought that pit stops would have started at least 10 laps sooner. I mean, these guys are holding on for dear life. But how about A.J. Hawkins? This guy is just setting a blistering pace right now. I mean, the tires on that car have to be shot, and he's still keeping it pretty nice and straight. As Red Barrett would say back in the day, you got to hold a pretty wheel, and that's what he's doing tonight right now, Angel.
As you see, Adam Capps, he's making his way onto pit road here from the 14th position. James Shaneworth is going to come off. You got to be careful. There's a very tight pit exit here. Not a lot of room whatsoever. Definitely can't be to their side by side. And you can't push it too hard because you will get a penalty for a black flag there for an unsafe pit exit. So you got to definitely be careful as you're making your way around there.
Yeah, certainly pit road entry is not easy.
Ed Morris and Alexander Brown, sorry to cut you off there, buddy, but they are in 2nd and 3rd place, make their way in. 3 seconds behind GT Hawkins, or just over 3 seconds. We'll have to see, does GT come in this next time around, or does he keep using his distance to his advantage?
Well, you know what? We were talking about this earlier. Now that these pit stops have started, and I don't know about you, but my stopwatch tells me we're almost about 3 seconds off the pace from where we started. So GT Hawkins, granted, that man is fast, but he needs to come down pit road.
Oh, and here's a caution.
Oh, just when you don't want to see the caution come out, Angel, this is going to change the entire complexity of the race. I can assure you of that.
And it's actually going to be James Shaneworth on fresh tires. He's just looking like, oh, he's going to get loose there off of turn 4. Does he hold on to it? Oh no, nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go whatsoever. Is that the? I think it's the 45 of Corey Dar. Let me try to get a closer look up here.
I believe that is the 45.
Unfortunate for him. We're actually gonna go ahead and jump on board there with the 45 when this incident happens.
Just nowhere to go.
Yeah, you see him. He sees him. He's loose. All right, he's got it locked down. Okay, he's gonna go somewhere else. It keeps coming. Oh, and nowhere to go. Oh my goodness. And there's nothing either driver could do. You know, James is just trying to keep it from hitting that inside wall and ending his night, and instead it'll end that the night for the 45 of Corey Dar. So,
Yeah, I mean that was some heads up driving. I mean, he was pretty much already sideways coming off at turn 4. It's really hard to keep that car from hitting the inside or the outside retaining wall, and just nowhere to go. I mean, you see the car snap to the left, and then he comes back hard to the right. Just not enough time and not enough room, and that's just one of those typical racing incidents, unfortunately, out there on the racetrack. That Milwaukee Mile, sometimes a jump up and bite you, and that's pretty much what happened here.
You do see our leaders coming down pit lane now. You see the pit exit right here. GT Hawkins is off there, and then you see some of these other guys. Top 7 cars did not pit, or had not pit. That included the 14 of GT Hawkins, the 12 of Michael Thwaites, the 2 of Michael Larch. Sean Corcoran, he's going to be on pit lane here. Looks like for a little bit of extended time. Those cars don't even look like they're in their boxes, but I don't think they're lined up. Justin Anasagok as well coming off pit road as Randy Kruder. So those guys are going to spend, well, not spend extra time. This is actually by the time they came back around. That's how far behind they were at the time of caution, of course, due to us being in the middle of a pit strategy. It really does suck for Ed Morris, you know, who got put a lap down in that situation. I don't know if he'll get his lap back either in the process.
Yes, certainly that's an ugly exchange there from Mr. Morris as he gets stuck on pit road when that caution flag comes out. Gonna have to see on who's actually gonna benefit from this pit sequence here. Some of these guys are gonna make out okay. They're gonna be up near the front with 4 fresh tires on their car. Some of these other guys, you know, once you make past that commitment cone, you know, coming down pit road, that caution flag falls. Fortunately, you're just at the mercy of, you know, incidents on the racetrack, but you still got time. You can rebound. You know, we're not even 60 laps in, and we got 40 laps tonight is the distance, so you still got time. Just be smart, manage the race, and you still got time to be in a good spot to pick up a podium or potentially a win when that checkered flag flies.
Yeah, we're looking close to being at the halfway point here in this race. You'll see our iRacing.com pit car should be coming to 2 to green here, if I'm not mistaken. Or actually might be 1 to green here. We'll see if these cars take the wave around. Yep, actually will be 1 to green. So GT Hawkins, you're only going to have 8 cars in the lead lap here. Looks like Rick Christensen, who had pit previously on lap 54 along with Jeremy Horn, Justin Anasagok, and a couple of these other guys. Going to stay on the lead lap. So Ed Morris will be your first car 1 lap down, so he's going to need another caution here to get himself a break to get back up there. Definitely what you want to see is the leader GT Hawkins, your biggest competition, being stuck pinned a lap down.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Hawkins, he's going to be hot right now. Hopefully that crew chief can be that voice of reason, get his driver refocused. I mean, that guy was putting on a clinic tonight. He was consistently laying those lap times down, and now he's mired a lap down. But I don't anticipate him to be there for long.
Nope, not at all. Green flag down. Here comes GT Hawkins with a massive jump there. He's going to easily take first place, and I think we immediately had a yellow flag again.
Well, sometimes cautions breed cautions, and that's certainly indicative of what just happened there on the racetrack. Do you happen to know if GT was in the free pass position?
Well, GT was the leader. It was Ed Morris. I don't know if he was or not. I'm trying to see exactly what happened, if something happened here.
I apologize, guys. I thought through that sequence that GT was got stuck a lap down there.
Morris. I'm trying to see, is there anything else that we missed? Nope. I think maybe this has been an official's caution for something, unless they had something that wasn't quite sorted out on the racetrack.
Yeah, maybe race control saw something they didn't like. Potentially, people weren't lined up properly, and they decided, well, they better throw the yellow back out and get it sorted out before we continue on.
I'm wondering to see here. No, not quite understanding, but looks like they should be lined up side to side again. We'll have to see where they go from here.
Yeah, clearly there looks to be some confusion out there on the racetrack, especially how everyone's pretty much fanned out, just coming out of turn 4 there.
We'll have to see exactly what we're gonna deal with here. I don't believe that gave anybody the lucky dog. It shouldn't have. Actually, yes, Ed Morris would get the lucky dog out of it. So, as there's just a gaggle of cars back here trying to figure out. I don't know if they're going to get going here in time.
Yeah, exactly. The lights are off on the pace car.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Right now, getting ready to go green flag racing. iRacing.com. Pace cars down pit lane. Green flag racing once again for the Milwaukee Mile. 80 laps to go. Just almost at the halfway point. Michael Thwaites is going to be battling for second with Michael Larch, but it's GT Hawkins with the quick jump to the lead. Question is, can Thwaites hold a good run on the outside? Can he carry the momentum? They'll stay side by side as he dives down here into turn number 3.
Yeah, turn number 3 is the spot where the Hawkins is leaving the business down right now. These guys still bottlenecked up, getting back up to speed here. 2 by 2 they go. The Hornet's Nest right there just outside the top 3. You can pitch a 10 over them. That's how close side-by-side action is right now, Angel.
Yep, as they just now settle it, going to go back to single file once again. You know, you want to be single file for as long as you possibly can, trying to avoid being on the outside of anybody. You'll see these guys get down to the bottom. We'll see some of the fastest laps turn today as well, so we'll be interested to see where that comes from. As right now, you see Alexander Brown down to 7th. Making his way around Jeremy Horn for that 7th position. He's got a long way to go to make up, as well as Ed Morris. GT Hawkins just put down a lap almost 2/10 quicker than anybody else on track just now.
Yeah, he looks like one of those slot cars from back in the day. You know what I'm talking about, the car you put on the racetrack, and it didn't matter how much gas you gave it or how fast you went. That car was stuck to the racetrack. That's what Mr. Hawkins is looking like out there right now, as he's just setting a blistering pace. Getting back to what you were saying, Angel, you don't want to get mired on the outside of this racetrack. You just had an opportunity to come down pit road, get 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods on your car, and you will certainly use those things up trying to maintain lap speed when you're stuck on the outside. So look for these drivers to want to get single file as soon as possible, like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I mean, with the way that last run went, going just under 50 laps, I think it was maybe 45 total from that first incident restart we had. I wouldn't even be trying to fight anybody. I'd say, man, go right on by me. You go ahead and use up your tires, and I'm just going to sit here and save my tires and wait for you to come back to me, because, wow, it was a big, long run we had to start this race.
Oh, yeah, that's what I always say. When I was running a race earlier today at Las Vegas, I started P4. I let these guys go, and I said, hey, I'll see you in 15 laps. And sure enough, tried and true, save your tires. And I was picking those positions right back off later on in the run. Saving your tires is paramount, and I believe is going to be one of the main storylines this evening.
Yeah, it's going to be without a doubt the main storyline probably. You see GT Hawkins are already out to an almost 2-second lead, 1.7 seconds currently over Michael Larch. You wonder, is the rest of the field... Oh, as we got a car spinning there off of turn 2. He's got it in one piece. That is Randy Kruder there. Not sure exactly what all went on there for Randy. Let's see if we can't get a
I think maybe he got some help.
Let's see here. That was this last turn. I do believe it should be the next turn. We'll see what happens. He's side by side right here, right now with Justin Anasagok. Going to be behind Justin as they dive down here into this turn. Remember, this was
Calamity Corner strikes again.
Yeah, I don't see exactly. I'm gonna go back to a different view, see what all happened. Oh,
Yep.
that's exactly what happened here. Hold on, everybody. He got a little bit of help there from Sean Corcoran, it looks like. Looks like a little bit to find that, everybody. Sorry about that, but
Yeah, if I seen that correctly, it looked like maybe he just got a little too free on entry, washed up the racetrack a little bit, and ran out of racetrack and happened to catch a 3,000-pound race car in the process.
well, that's all she needed, right?
Just a little bit of that love tap. That back end's already light to begin with, and around she goes.
Okay, especially at a track like this, and we do have a caution this time as we crossed almost the halfway mark. Looks like Adam Capps had an issue. See, 55 is loose, trying to catch it, locks it down, and it's gonna spin to the bottom, and that will bring out that caution for the race, or for
Thing
bring
is,
out a caution there.
this track is very deceiving, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Angel. As a race car driver, you feel like you got that car corrected, and you start picking up the throttle, and you realize you don't, and it all happens, in such a quick sequence. Very indicative, I think, of what just happened there. The 55 thought he had it, overcorrected a little bit. He snakes it to a stop down on the inside of the racetrack. But hey, great job. He didn't really get any damage other than the slide job that he put on his tires.
Well, right now, it's just as I was about to ask you, you got half of the race to go. You went 50 laps on a set of tires. Are you going to take any tires here? And it looks like Ed Morris, Michael Thwaites, Randy Kruger, Jeremy Horn, and Rick Christensen. Those would be the 6 drivers to make it down pit lane to put 4 fresh general tires on this thing to see if we get another long green flag run. They'll be the beneficiaries of it, having pit a good 15 or laps later than the guys in front of them.
You know what they say, go to the general to pick up some time on this racetrack. And that's what I was going to do. Anywhere from 5th on back, you might as well come down pit road. Tires are such a premium. I don't want to run 50 laps. I don't want to run 40 laps. So, hey, I got an opportunity. Still have a couple sets in the bank. Come on down pit road. Do something different than what the leaders are running. I like that strategy call there by those crew chiefs, bringing those guys down pit road, taking advantage of offsetting the field with some fresh tires.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the perfect time for some of those guys who did take the wave around recently to get back on, or to get back on the same strategy more or less as some of the other drivers. As you'll see, Drew Trader, Justin Anasagok, they're down pit lane right now. Well, Justin Anasagok's coming back down a second time, actually. I think he had just finished pitting. Kind of interesting to see him come back down. GT Hawkins, once again, currently your leader. We are now halfway through this race as they're coming on the backstretch of this 1 mile flat oval. And let's see if the drivers, if they don't go 1 to green here, we'll bring in GT, but if not, we're going to hold off on it, so we'll just see for a moment. Aside from that, man, some good racing so far. Matt, what can we expect here for the second half of this race?
You can already start to see the intensity level picking up here as these laps wind down. We pretty much ran almost incident-free through the first 50 laps. Now we're starting to see those cautions come out as these drivers try to get a little more aggressive because they know these laps are starting to wind down. I'm looking for that intensity to come up. Does anyone have anyone for the Hawk? That's left to be seen. However, I do like that strategy call for those guys just outside the top 5. That could be the equalizer, especially if we get another long green flag run here.
And I do believe that's going to be the case. And I think I got to be thinking these guys up front who decided not to pit, including GT Hawkins, Michael Larch, Alexander Brown, and Sean Corcoran. Gonna have to see what they've got here for the rest of the field, but it's gonna be pretty interesting to see can they and how long? I mean, I know 14 laps doesn't seem like a lot, but it could be right at the end of this race. Here it is, GT Hawkins holding on to the lead. iRacing.com pace cars down. Green flag racing again. It looks like those top 4 have no problem launching here on some of these older tires, which should show that maybe these tires aren't quite as old as some of us are ready to be prepared for. GT with an early lead here. Alexander Brown, Michael Larch going to stay right behind. Fourth place, here comes Michael Thwaites with a fresh set of Generals and Ed Morris right behind them. These guys also have to give it a couple laps for these tires to really kind of settle in and warm them up a little bit. These cold tires on a slick track are just a recipe for disasters. You saw with James Shanewolf earlier, just a few laps, maybe if not 1 or 2 laps into having fresh General tires on.
Yeah, we're back to green flag racing out on the racetrack. And once again, GT here doing his John Force impersonation. He just fires off on those restarts, doesn't he, Angel?
Gosh, he is just gone when these restarts happen. But man, good job for him right now. Is we have a good battle on track as well between the 9th and 10th place cars of Rick Christensen and Justin Adesagok. And then you see that one car, James Shane, was currently the first car 1 lap down, not too far behind. Man, these guys are right on top of each other. Man, you look right back to this front pack. It is an absolute hornet's nest up here, too. Not many positions divide these guys up front, as Michael Thwaites actually lost that 4th position to Ed Morris, as Ed Morris looks to continue to pick him up and put him back down. Good run to the middle of the turn there. He might have the run to the inside of Michael Larch there. Nope, we got to go ahead and back off. Going to have to give it another lap.
Oh, that was smart heads up by that driver there. Certainly, you got that momentum. You're picking him up. You want to lay him down, but it takes a lot of patience. Don't force the issue. He knows. A couple of those positions he picked up, he probably got those tires just a tad bit heated up. So go ahead, take what the track gives you. Smart heads-up racing by Mr. Morris out there on full display right now.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, everybody knows they've got to make at least one more pit stop before the night's over if they want to make it to the end of the race. So I have to be interested, you know, to see.
I think we're going to be okay with one. You know, Angel, in your opinion, those guys that came down pit road and kind of went off cycle, how do you think they're faring right now? You think that was a good move or still too early to tell?
I think it's still too early to tell, but right now, looking so far pretty good for DT Hawkins with a 1.4 second lead over Ed Morris, the first guy in fresh tires.
Yeah, he's just checking out on this field. It just seems like it doesn't matter if he's got 2 laps on those tires or 50. He's just consistently able to pull away and gap these guys. I'm not sure if this is an open setup league or not. It's my second time having the privilege to be up here in the booth with you, Angel, and this, I'll tell you what, the series does not disappoint.
No, not an open set, actually, thanks to Agent Inc. Racing, is the company that does bring these guys their setup. So while it is a fixed setup, not the iRacing fixed setup, so I think something that a lot of drivers enjoy having a fixed setup, but sometimes the iRacing one isn't always quite the best, so finding yourself a different outlet for it works out in a lot of cases for these guys.
Yeah, certainly. You know, especially if you guys, all this comes back to all the partners and the resources that goes into all behind the scenes to make this product of racing, that we're able to broadcast and bring to you guys on YouTube. If you guys are new to SRM, check us out. We have racing coverage for you guys virtually every day of the week. So smash that like button, ring that bell, trust SRM to have all your online eSIM racing needs covered Monday through Sunday.
Could not have said it better myself, Matt. I do very much appreciate it. I always forget to say that sometimes. Right now, though, it's Ed Morris moves to the second position now, 1.35 seconds behind their leader. It's got the 14-lap pressure tires. Not all of them are under green flag, though, so pushing a little too hard here for Ed could mean that these tires eventually equal themselves out.
That you took the words right out of my mouth, and I think that's what we're seeing right here on the racetrack now. Another thing I'm seeing here, Angel, look at the spacing, look at the gaps between these competitors right now. Do you think it's not on their minds how critical these tires are? Right now, it looks like a lot of these guys are just riding. They're content with where they're at on the racetrack, trying to hold on to their equipment, probably for inside 20 to go. That's when I think we're going to see this next wave of high-impact racing going to unfold.
Yep, jumping back to our leader here. Lap 83, the last time around, Ed Morris was about 18/100ths of a second quicker. Going to need a little bit more than that here. Would take him about another 10 to 15 laps, which would then, I think sometime here in the next at least 10 to 15 laps, should put us into our pit window. So we'll have to see if anybody comes in early, tries that early shot. A lot of these guys, only one set of tires remaining, but for those who did not pit, GT Hawkins, Alexander Brown, Michael Larch, and Sean Corcoran, those guys all having pit once today, currently still on the lead lap. They are looking for this to go green, quite possibly. Looks like it's worked out for them. Maybe a caution here soon would force those other guys to maybe use a set of tires, and they'll still have one extra in the bag.
Yeah, certainly if it plays out like that, that would be a best case scenario for those drivers you just outlined. But how many times have we seen the script flip in just the blink of an eye? But for right now, that seems to be the winning strategy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and that leaves the question to be asked, you know. Would you go back and do it again, or was this what Ed Morris needed maybe to get the track position? Because he was mired back there, and, you know, remember he was a lap down at one point. So this works out for Ed, gives him the track position he needs, and puts him as close to GT Hawkins as he's been since GT got past him early on in the race.
You know what? You asked the question, if you could go back and do it again, would you? And I'm going to say absolutely. I don't see how else you're going to pick up and make up that amount of spots in the least amount of time that Morris certainly has. We've seen how hard it is to pass race cars on the racetrack while keeping the car pointed in the right direction. So great heads-up call by his crew chief. I think that was the best play and executed very well by his team.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's like you said, you know, what do you do with what's given to you? And right now, Ed Morris now got down to about an 0.8 of a second lead behind, or difference between him and GT Hawkins, cutting off a 10th that last time. Michael Thwaites and Alexander Brown, we were just focusing on there before I went for that quick update. These guys are still side by side with each other, but Michael Larch and Justin Anasagok, Justin making his way back up to the front here. And you see Randy Kruder, he was sideways with help from the 43, the car right behind him not too long ago. These guys are right on top of each other as well.
Yeah, certainly. Little shades of Daytona there, a little shake and bake action going on. Gave him a little friendly tap down the back. I got you, buddy. Here you go. I got you. That's what I like to see out here on the racetrack. These boys doing battle, but in a controlled environment, keeping that race car straight, not posing any threats to any other competitors on the racetrack. You guys watching right now are getting one heck of a show. Put on some of the elites right here in iRacing.
We'll jump here. This still stays our mostly closest battle here for position on the racetrack right now. As that last time around, Ed Morris was, I don't know what happened, 3.5 tenths slower than GT Hawkins, having lost some time, quite a bit of it actually. Don't know if maybe GT got a good draft over the car in front of him. Not exactly. That was a 45 there of Corey Dar, who I thought for sure was maybe done for the day, but he's done a nice job putting this car back together as best as he could. Right now, currently in the 19th position, still looking for as many positions as he could possibly gain. You never know what can happen here in the closing laps. 21 laps down, though.
Yeah, it looked like Morris just overdrove the exit of Ford just a little bit. He almost lost it, but miraculous save. But that's for that increase in differential from first to second place is coming from. But as a race car driver, that's what you have to do right now. You have to try to just outdrive the guy in front of you, right? As simple as that sounds, it's a daunting task, and sometimes you step over that boundary just a little bit, and then you lose all those precious tenths of a second that you made up. But hey, Morris has still got time. He's got that car back underneath him, pointing in the right direction. And hey, I still think he's got something for Hawkins here at the end.
Oh, I think so too. And it's going to be a decision of when do these guys begin to hit pit lane and maybe try to get the most of their tires, or do you hit pit lane too early? On a long green flag run like this, I say, you're gonna have almost the entirety of the pit cycle. I mean, I'd say you pit as late as you possibly can. You know, don't pit too early. In the middle of that process, though, we're gonna go ahead and before these guys start hitting pit lane, we're gonna go ahead and give everybody a turn it up session here on the Sim Racing Media Network. And well, actually, no, we'll go ahead and go to a commercial break first. We'll bring you your turn it up session afterwards. Once these cars get bunched up and we get some better sounds out of it. I think I'll wait until they're all bunched up from pit cycles. So we'll give just a few minutes here, everybody. We'll be right back.
Copy.
All right, we are back here with having completed lap number 95. GT Hawkins once again back out to not once again, just more of a reminder to everybody. He's over here in the lead right now, as we're closing in on 45 laps to go here with one more set of pit stops to do still. As you see, there looks like they are catching up there. I don't know which car that one is, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and give you a quick rundown of the field. We'll do it once here before the green flag pit stop start. Before we do that, Matt, 45 laps, less than 45 laps to go. What are we looking at for some of these drivers, and what are their plans to start pitting early or waiting until the end? Oh, Matt, you got us? We may have lost him briefly, but we'll be right back. We'll go ahead and double check, make sure all of that is working correctly. Nonetheless, we'll go ahead and get started here. GT Hawkins, once again here from Columbus, Ohio in first. Ed Morris is in second. Alexander Brown currently holding the third position. Let's get a bit of a better view of these guys. We'll go see GT Hawkins, Ed Morris, Alexander Brown, Michael Thwaites, Justin Anasagok look. Oh, as Ed Morris is gonna make Ed Morris Senior, has made his first pit stop of the day. Michael Larch currently in the 6th position. Randy Kruder in 7th. Sean Corcoran in 8th. Drew Trader currently up 10 positions. Your biggest mover of the race, up to 9th. Jeremy Horn not too far, right behind him in the 10th position. You have Rick Christensen. If he can get past 1 or 2 more drivers, he'll be your biggest mover of the race. Currently up 9 spots from his 20th place position. Currently running in 11th. Adam Capps, we've seen him spin out twice today, and yet he's still running strong. Currently here in that number 12 position, I do believe, maybe 1 lap down, if I'm not mistaken. Greg Carr in his Waffle House number 24. He is currently running in the 13th. James Shane Wolf in 14th. Bobby Doyen in 15th. Brandon Bass is going to go ahead and make up your 16 drivers, currently at least 1 lap down. 2 laps down. Jaden Darling in the 17th position, currently 3 down as he makes his way down almost like pit lane. Ed Morris Sr. recovering from some damage earlier in the race. He is back up here to the 18th spot, still 3 spots from before The 45 of Corridor with what's left of his poor car. He's been involved in an incident that had nothing of his doing earlier in today's race, making it still out there in the 19th position. And then we have Wesley Jeanette, Dean Gagliano, and Clayton Hack rounding out the field of 22 cars here, as we have now coming down 49 laps to go here, and GT Hawkins has pulled off to a 3.2 second lead over Ed Morris. I think maybe Ed just drove it in a little too hard, trying to catch our leader here, GT, with those fresher tires.
Tell you what, Angel, the time is now. If you're betting that this race is going to go green the rest of the way, and given the fact we only have 10 cars on the lead lap, if you're going to come in and get tires, that time is now. Come on down pit road, get that fresh set of Dr. Feelgoods on your car, and take that time to your advantage when you come off that racetrack, and potentially being a second to 2 seconds faster. Especially, go ahead.
I mean, to cut you off, we got a caution, so everybody's coming down from tires now.
And just like we were saying, that strategy, crumple it up in a ball, throw it out the window, this changes everything.
This will be the one car, James Shane Wolf. Oh, he loses it, gets loose there off of the turn, and this time with much older tires, so much easier to overcorrect. I'm sorry. This is exactly what happens. The 67 of Bobby Doyen does a great job just barely tagging the grass to get around him, but unfortunately there for James, something we know it's just way too easy to do here in these cars, especially on the old tires.
Oh, yeah, certainly is. And just indicative of, the tire fall off and the way they're holding on to this car. These guys are driving this car right on the edge of being out of control. And that's what we've seen right there from the one car. Overcorrects, throws a little bit more wheel back in it, overcompensates, and hooks it right into the outside barrier, top shelf, where Mama hides the cookie. Angel, just like that, the caution flag is back out. We got 11 cars on the lead lap. Place your bets. What are we going to see from here on out?
Well, all 11 are going to come down pit lane. They're going to take their fresh General tires for tonight's race. Ed Morris is going to be big if he can get out of his pit box. He got that first pit box. Wasn't close enough to GT Hawkins, so he can steal the lead, but close enough. I know we're going to have 34 laps probably by the end of this one, as we see all the cars come flying off pit lane here.
You know what? I'm concerned, Angel. Here's why. The last time we seen a caution, we had a couple quick cautions afterwards. And just because you come out of pit road and steal the lead doesn't mean you're necessarily going to steal the win. But I bet you... wonder if some of these guys might take two here and save two for the next caution.
Well, I don't see anybody that's taken two. It looks like everybody was in their pit stops for the 4 fresh tires. I think that's going to be the case here, as everybody else will also, some of these lap cars will come down pit lane as well. And man, if I was a lap car right now, I would run my risk. I mean, what more do you have to lose? I'd have taken the wave around right there and assume another caution comes out.
Exactly my point. So, could not agree with you more there. If trends of the race and what we've seen tonight historically over the course of the run tonight, when cautions do transpire on the racetrack, they come in bunches. So take that wave around, get that lap back. The next caution flag comes out. Hey, if it's only a couple laps, stay out, get that track position, let those other cars pit in front of you. And you know what? What could have been a disastrous day may get you, inside a solid top 15 finish.
Yeah, pretty solid finish would be for those guys, absolutely. 22 cars. We still currently, looks like Dean Gagliano's finally got his repairs done. That's what I couldn't recognize from earlier. It was the 18 of Dean Gagliano finally making his way back out onto the racetrack. I don't know if he's going to have time to make up any more positions back there in the 20th position. Next car in front of him is Corridor, 24 laps down, is showing Gagliano in the pits, so can't see exactly how far behind he is, but definitely a good chunk, as he's been out for the majority of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. He just may be in that catbird seat, if you will. He just may gonna, possibly run out of time. Not enough laps left in this race to, advance his position, further forward in the standings, if you will. But hats off to him for staying with it, being out there, being competitive. And you know what? It's racing. Points are critical. So if you can get an extra point or two for staying out on the racetrack, good heads-up move by that driver.
I'm wondering if we're going to see the 45 pulling. I don't know if he's coming down pit lane. He is. So that means that we should see the iRacing.com pit lane car go down pit lane. And we're green flag racing again. Ed Morris, what a fantastic restart. He's going to stay side by side with GT Hawkins as they dive here into turn 1. Can he stay up alongside him and carry the momentum off of 2?
Man, he said, see you later. I'm checking out. Catch you on another planet. That guy knows how to restart.
Great restart. Unfortunately, that outside just is not enough to carry enough momentum to stay side by side with Hawkins, as Hawkins is going to take the lead with the preferred lane in the bottom. We'll have 32 laps to go as they come across the line this time. You got 12 cars still in the lead lap. Plenty of cars still out there looking for positions.
You asked me when we were going to see that intensity pick up, and that time is now. That hornet's nest is a-buzzing. Look at these guys jostling for position. Everyone's out of line right now. You got guys to the inside, guys to the outside. Any crack of daylight, these guys are going to take it. This racing's really starting to pick up now, Angel.
You see side by side it is for that 4th position between Alexander Brown, Michael Larch. Alexander Brown is going to take the 4th position away. Looks like, nope, not quite clear. He's going to dive down here into the next turn, be a little more respectful before cutting across the nose there of that 2 car. 2 car, however, is now under attack from the 25 of Drew Trader. He's just going to keep getting freight train if he can't get up off the bottom and off the top. Let's see the car come flying down that backstretch here into turn number 3.
The price you pay for trying to make a pass, you can certainly get alongside him, but that extra little bit you need just to clear the car, just not there right now. This racetrack and a byproduct of this car, these guys are on the edge. Sometimes, like we were talking about earlier, just throttling up a little too soon, it's going to put you in the fence. So good heads-up racing by him, just backing off a little bit. But the minute you do that, you allow all those guys behind you that have the preferred line to close in on your back bumper.
Well, now these guys are kind of lined up right on top of each other. Let's go ahead and give everybody that turned up session we promised, as we'll give a focus here on some of the best battles we're having throughout the racetrack.
Yeah, let's turn it up. I'm fired up. I don't know about you.
I'm fired up, especially for the end of the race.
Let's go.
Man, oh man, do I love our Turn It Up session. Always so much fun to get a chance to see these cars, or listen to these cars up close and personal. Listen to those V8s roaring around this beautiful track here in Milwaukee. You see the drivers right now. We're completing lap 117, currently on lap 118. We do have just about 23 laps to go, 22 and a half now as they go. The leaders you see coming down the backstretch. GT Hawkins still in the lead. Ed Morris in a close second, about 1 second behind your leader. Michael Thwaites as well in third. Michael Larch in fourth. And Alexander Brown going to round out your top five. We'll go ahead and include sixth place driver Drew Trader, currently up 13 spots. His the biggest mover of the race so far in that number 25 car. So doing a great job with the opportunity given to him right now, and looking pretty good in that. It's a good looking paint scheme there for that 25 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself, Angel. What a drive that gentleman has put on, your biggest mover of the race right now. It has been so hard to pass. Positions has been at a premium. What that man's been able to overcome. I know he may not be the current leader of the race right now, but big shout out to him and his team. That's one heck of a run they currently have underway. Hey, man, we're not done yet. He's still got 20 laps. He could pick up a couple more spots before this is all said and done, Angel.
Hey, a couple more spots he's got. He's got another 5 spots in front of him. You never know what could happen here with about 21 laps to go. Keep an eye on the guys who are sure, more than likely, maybe have still an extra set of field goods there in the pits with 20 laps to go as GT Hawkins crosses the line. So your leader himself, GT Hawkins, Michael Larch, quite possibly Alexander Brown as well. We're going to look at Sean Corcoran there back in 11th. You know, he's praying for a caution. He'd be one of only, I believe, 4 drivers in the lead lap with possibly 4 fresh tires. So 20-some odd laps into this run, I'm telling you, these guys will be begging for tires. Did you see that 7 sideways there, almost just sliding across the track off of turn number 4?
Definitely was slideways there, and a lot of these drivers are probably feeling the same type of performance out of their race car right now, as hard as they're driving right now as we winden these laps down. Now inside 19 laps to go. GT Hawkins still out in front, but don't count out Morris. He is lurking a little outside of 1 second back. You know what I'm thinking, Angel? He could be setting him up just a little mental strategy game here going on. Could be saying this stuff to make a little 10-lap shootout run at the leader. I will tell, but I think that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, you got to do something different. If that's what's going to take, then awesome. Let's go for it. I'm all for seeing something different happen. You know, I don't root for chaos. I don't ever want to ruin anybody's races, but certainly like to see some different things happening.
Yeah, a little cat and mouse perhaps going on, a little mental strategy. Hey, that's a big part of racing too, and sometimes you don't hear about it enough. But when you've had a car out there that's been as dominant right now is your current leader, I mean, if it was me inside that race car occupying the number 2 position, I'd want to set him up. The last thing I want him to think about is any pressure from me. By the time he looks up in the rearview mirror, 5 to go, you know what? I might be just a little bit closer than that driver anticipated. Get him driving out that rearview mirror. Anything can happen. We still got plenty of time.
Yeah, plenty of time is true, because 16 laps to go. All we need is a caution to shake up the entire complexity of the field itself.
Yeah, I mean, you said it right there. Change up the entire complexity. One caution flag, that basically stacks everyone in the entire field, let alone the lead lap, back on top of each other. Practically a brand new race, if that's the case. And I'm still thinking we're going to see a caution here inside of 10 laps to go. The level of racing is just through the roof right now. These cars are on the edge. I really anticipate a caution here.
Well, I mean, you can anticipate something. I don't know. These guys, I think they're going to go ahead and pull it out all the way here with 15 laps to go, just under that. I think they've got enough to be able to make it here to the end without any issues, really.
But half the time we say one thing, they prove us wrong and do the opposite, right?
That is true, yes.
But hey, hats off to these guys right now. They are putting on one heck of a show here this Monday night. Got one guy a little there low on the racetrack. I think he almost lost it coming off the corner there, Angel. Looks like the as he comes by here. Looks like the 5. He's working the high side of the racetrack right now. Is he gonna come back in line? Gonna drop back in line, but man, he was up there in no man's land for about a lap and a half.
Yeah, I may have been trying to let some of these lead lap cars by him. He didn't want to be in the way there, just trying to show a little bit of respect to them. Actually coming down pit lane, so maybe just wanted to come down to pit lane, but knew that he'd be in a bad spot coming there off the turn with some of those guys right behind him. So some respectful driving there, I'd say, by Ed Morris Sr. Nothing I'm too surprised about. Seen him do it time and time again, not just here, but in the Rick Tech Truck Series that I used to broadcast with these guys. So big respect to him. 12 laps to go, just about, though. We're coming close to the end of this one, Matt.
Yeah, we're coming down to the wire here as the 5 car actually ducks down pit road. The man setting the pace right now, Mr. GT himself. He's got that car out in front, performing good. It's driving good, and he's pulling away from that field right now again, Angel.
Man, I'll tell you this much right now. Excuse me. It's that second group right there battling for second. Ed Morris has got Michael Thwaites and Michael Larch all over his back bumper as Ed is up a couple of lanes on the racetrack there off of turn 4. That's going to give him a really bad exit. Not a lot of grip up there to put the throttle down. Thwaites is going to clear him there down the front stretch. Here comes that number 2. Ed Morris is going to lose 1, 2, and here comes Alexander Brown. He may lose a 3rd spot right now.
Talk about dangling the steak if you're a driver out there on the racetrack. He left that window way wide open there. The whole bottom side of the racetrack, the preferred line, was wide open. I'm surprised we didn't see any takers. I don't know if that was a miscue or maybe he just missed the corner, but certainly you don't want to leave the door open like that with 10 to go.
No, without a doubt, you cannot let that happen. So you see right there, it looks like he's just going to close the door there on the 69 and hope he's got enough. Do remember the same thing happened at the end of the last long run where they caught him, and as they battled each other, he was able to pull away, but this time they decided not to battle each other, maybe pick them off one by one, allowing them to get past Ed a lot faster and not allow him to hold on to that second position.
And that's smart because look how much time that you give up on the racetrack when you're battling side by side. They don't want to let these guys get away. So great control, focus, and patience shown and displayed by these drivers right now, knowing if they get caught in a battle side by side, it's pretty much game over.
Yeah, which is exactly what you see the 69 and the 7 doing as they're side by side now there for that 4th position. We're going to come down now with almost 8 laps to go as GT pulls through 3 and 4. You still have 12 cars currently on the lead lap. The next battle on track, actually it's going to be Alexander Brown has now got Justin Anasagok right, not too far behind him. It's Anasagok and Drew Trader who are close to each other. Looks like Anasagok was able to just get past Trader and pass him for that 6th position, but Drew's got another 1.6 seconds behind him, might himself another couple tenths a lap. Really, he can hold off for a nice solid 7th place finish tonight and still holding on to that biggest mover award. Next battle on the racetrack we see would be for the 10th position right now. So currently fighting for a top 10 is Jeremy Horn and Sean Corcoran, currently running right on top of each other. You see side by side, but with 7 laps to go, we'll jump back over here to the battle for 2nd place as Michael Larch and Michael Thwaites continue to keep it side by side, or almost side by side. Same with Ed Morris and Alexander Brown behind them for 4th.
For 2nd place is your hot spot on the racetrack right now. These drivers are doing some serious battle as these laps are winding down. Oh, look at that little bobble out of that race car, indicative of these guys being right on the fringe of out of control. Oh, man, it's so hard to complete the pass, Angel. It's almost like, if you pick up that throttle just a little too soon, that car is going to be put in the wrong direction in a hurry, but time's running out.
Yeah, I mean, you're really going to have to be able to just hold on and keep these guys behind you. So, I mean, the hope is that you don't burn up your stuff and you don't, screw yourself trying to push it too hard just to stay in front of some of these guys.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to end up at the hot dog stand inside of turn 1 before the race is over, and that definitely can happen, just trying to pick up the throttle just a little bit too sooner. But how about Hawkins? Last week, dominating performance, dominating fashion. And again here tonight, the Milwaukee Mile, this man's just making it look easy as he's nursing almost a 4-second margin over second place right now.
So yeah, nice, decent margin. I didn't even wonder if he can just chill from here, not really have to give too much effort if he doesn't want to. I don't know if he's trying to slow down at all, but man, this looks like a man who put down 1,000 laps of practice at this track, probably one of his better tracks, I'd have to say. Really excited, I think I'd have to say, for tonight's race, and if he wasn't before, he will be again after this.
Yeah, certainly you don't want to slow down enough or too much where you get out of your rhythm as a race car driver. This track is very rhythmic, and sometimes you slow down too much, and then you end up missing a corner, and catastrophic results can unfold. So as we're working 3 laps to go here, just a couple more corners for Mr. GT, and he's going to have another W racked up in the win column.
Right now, the battle is actually for 7th. Jude Trader got back around Justin Anasagaka, and Justin's not going to have to hold off Randy Kruder here for that 7th position. 2 laps to go there. Actually, we'll give an opportunity to stay on this, as we do have one more lap we can give to some of these guys running a little further back here. And Sean Corcoran did get around Jeremy Horn. Now is on him by about a second, so Sean hoping to hold on for a top 10.
And it looks like he's going to do so in great display of patience, waiting for the right time to make that move by Mr. Horn, piloting that car right now. He took advantage of it. Smart heads-up pass. Could have probably tried to force the issue a little bit sooner, but he was patient. He waited solidly inside the top 10 now.
And here goes final lap of the race. GT Hawkins going around 1 and 2. Looks like he is out there putting qualifying laps down. Not just the speed, but the distance he has. As you mentioned, almost 4 seconds as they battle. Is still a 3, almost 4-way battle for seconds. So we'll be able to watch the leader come across the line. No problem on his own. GT Hawkins comes off of turn number 4. He's going to win back-to-back races in the Elite Entertainment ARCA Series. Back-to-back races in the Extreme Motorsports Leagues. Michael Larch in second. Michael Thluwace is going to be in third. Ed Morris, your pole sitter, hangs on for 4th. Alexander Brown will come home at the top 5.
Yeah, certainly all these guys up front tonight inside the top 5. They put on a brilliant performance tonight. Man and machine on the edge all night here at the Milwaukee Mile. But how about GT Hawkins? Statement win by a big-time impact driver. That's 2 in a row. I'm not sure if it's 3 in a row, but I know it's 2 in a row. And looking to carry that momentum on the next week. How about all these guys tonight? What do we have, Angel? 10 cars on the lead lap?
Yeah, quite a few. I think almost 12. So, pretty big night. We'll start off now with our 3rd place finisher of the evening, the 12th car of Michael Thwaites. Michael, this is Angel and Matt here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you. How you going? How you
Pretty
doing?
good. Michael, I haven't talked to you in a little while. It was nice to see your name back on the board last week when I got into broadcast. So already the week after, going ahead and interviewing here for a podium finish. Man, what a good race for you. How did you feel tonight went? Could have gone better? Could it have gone worse?
I'm pretty happy with where it went. Based off practice, I was not too happy. So.
Well, I mean, hey, it's always a nice pleasure when you get to finish a lot better. I've had a similar feeling on Friday night. I was at California, and I felt like, oh, this is going to be slow, and managed the top 4. So sometimes these races come into our hands, Michael. We definitely can't complain at all. Definitely got to be pretty excited for it. Should help you here in the points. I know you didn't race the first race. Are you running full-time this year? Did you just happen to miss the first race?
Yeah, I will be running. I signed up late, but yeah, I'll be running the rest of the season.
Perfect. Well, we'll be happy to see you once again here in the race, for the next season. Next week, we'll be heading to Rockingham. I myself will be out for the race. We'll have one of our fill-ins here doing the fantastic job as always. How do you feel about Rockingham? A track that I'm ashamed that I have to miss. It always puts on some good shows, especially in these ARCA cars.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good race. In these cars, yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a fun one, interesting one to watch.
All right. Well, as I said, I'm happy to have you back here and getting the broadcast with you out there racing. You always put on a fantastic show. I can always look forward to seeing you out there. I'm sure you got a couple people you'd like to thank for this podium finish, and we'll let you go enjoy it.
Yeah, everybody, Extreme, Primetime, SRM, what you guys do up there in the booth, and Elite Entertainment.
All right, Michael. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. You have yourself a good evening. Go ahead and enjoy this podium.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, that was your second place finisher, Michael Thwaites. We'll go ahead and bring in, your third place finisher, Michael Thwaites. We're bringing in now your second place finisher, Michael Larch. Michael, this is Angel and Matt here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, what a fantastic finish. I mean, you guys were really putting on a show there for that second position. Wasn't, unfortunately, the battle for the win, but man, it must have been fun to be out there. As much fun, at least, it was to watch.
Yeah, it was. The first couple runs, I knew I had good speed, but I could not get off the corners like everyone else. So I just kind of hung out, let the tires come in, followed a couple of those guys through there to kind of see exactly how they were getting off those turns. And once I figured that out, the tires came in pretty good. I was able to run them back down, and then that last run there, I went pretty aggressive there, and it paid off. So,
Matt, you got anything here? Oh, they're perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, you mentioned corner exit there was a tough area to overcome on the racetrack tonight. It seemed like you guys were pretty much on the edge as far as the car performance of the vehicle, and then obviously trying to maintain those tires. Do you feel like you could have did anything different to get up there and challenge GT for the win tonight?
For me, it seemed like the first 15 to 20 laps, it just felt like it was too far on the edgy side for me as far as breaking loose. I don't know how those guys were able to do it. I figured it out a little bit, like I said, at the end of the runs. But for me, once the tires came in around lap 15 to 25, I was able to get into the corners a lot harder than everyone else has seen. And then once I figured out how to get the car to rotate middle on off, I was able to run him down. But GT, he was out there, and he got out there pretty far. And me, third place, fourth place, fifth place cars were battling pretty good. So I don't think I could have ran down GT, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I actually brought you up earlier in the broadcast. I had a feeling that's what you were doing. And what just a great way to showcase your talent and your skill and how to maintain your tires and your equipment. Great run tonight. You stayed out of trouble. You definitely were a force to be reckoned with out there on the racetrack. Moving forward to next week, what's your thoughts on going back to Rockingham?
I don't have too much experience there, so I'm gonna have to put in some practice there and then jump in there as soon as the race room opens up and learn it pretty quick. But I feel in these ARCA cars, and these setups we got, all the tracks we've been to so far, the setups are really nice. They're under you. So I don't think we'll have a problem. It's just a matter of managing tires and taking care of everything.
Yeah, you're certainly one of my favorites here in the series to watch. The way that you progress over the course of the race, and the different lines and how you attack the racetrack. Certainly fun for me to watch. Great job tonight. Anyone that you'd like to thank, sir?
Yeah, give a shout out to Timber Dust Woodworking out there. They make custom wood furniture, cabinets, anything you need. Look them up. ClevelandWrap.com. They wrap anything in vinyl, cars, signs. Anything. And then my buddy Dean Gagliano, who brought me into this series, I guess in here having a good time with him and racing with the rest of these guys.
Well, there you have it, folks. Your second place finisher tonight, Marco Larch, true wheelman, showing you guys how to maintain your equipment over the course of the run. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. Look for him to continue his streak next week at the Rock. Angel, back to you, sir.
Well, no streak is better than the one right now by the man driving the number 14, GT Hawkins. Going to join us here in the booth. GT, you got us?
I got you. How y'all doing?
Man, pretty darn good. Matt, I'll let you start here briefly.
Well, the Hawk reigns supreme once again for the second week in a row, at least as long as I've been here covering this series. GT, I mean, you had a GT underneath you all night. Tonight, you just set sail. It didn't matter if it was 1 lap on those tires or 50 laps. It just seemed like you were on another planet compared to everyone else. How was it from your perspective tonight?
The car's really fun to drive. This is a fun track. Yeah, I think my advantage tonight was the way I was running 1 and 2. I mean, I didn't really see anybody else running as high of an entry and driving it off straight like I was in 2. So I think, I mean, I would gain in one and 2, and 3 and 4 I was even all night with all the top 5. So I think that was the difference.
Yeah, and certainly the way you were arcing those corners, I mean, that's going to help conserve that right rear tire, correct?
Yeah, because I was driving it off. I was just basically trying to make the backstretch longer. I mean, just drive it off as straight as I can, so I'm not wrapping as much and putting a lot more weight into that right rear. I think that's exactly what it did.
No, you definitely had the recipe for success out there on the racetrack tonight. 2 weeks in a row, definitely making a statement win here tonight. Moving on to the Rock next week. How do you feel about going back there?
Oh, it's going to be a blast. Like I said last time, I think it's really cool. We got these tracks on the schedule, Rockingham definitely being one of them. It's bumpy. There's a lot of character to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Well, congratulations on a dominant performance here at the Milwaukee Mile tonight. Who would you like to thank, sir?
Yeah, I got to thank Elite Entertainment for sponsoring the ARCA series. Everybody Extreme, Ed for putting this on. Glory Pole Company, my teammates, GT Motorsports, you guys for broadcasting, and everybody out there watching, all my friends, family, thanks.
And before I let you go here, GT, Angel, anything you'd like to add?
Nothing at all. Just congratulations, not just on this win, last week's win, and man, 3 wins in a row in the extreme leagues, including that Tuesday night Cup Series. We'll see if you'll be talking to our brothers here in the booth tomorrow for the Rick Motec Cup Series. Good luck tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, appreciate it. I hope I get to talk to you. The pressure's on there. It's going to be exciting.
No problem. Thank you, GT. That was your race winner here. We'll go over our finishing order briefly, as much as we can see it behind some of these stands. There we go. GT Hawkins again in first. Michael Larch in second. Michael Thwaites is in third. Ed Morris and Alexander Brown going to round out your top 5. Drew Trader going to be your biggest move of the race, up 13 spots to 6th. He was in the number 25 car. Justin Anasagak will have his worst finish of the year, from 2 third-place finishes to a 7th. Certainly won't hurt his championship efforts. Randy Kruder in 8th. Rick Christensen in 9th. Sean Corcoran is going to round out your top 10. In 11th goes to Jeremy Horn. Adam Capps in 12th. Greg Carr in 13th. Bobby Doyen in 14th. Brendan Pass holds on to 15th. Ed Morris Sr. is in 16th. James Shane Wolf, after what was a strong start to the day, running up there in the top 3. A couple of incidents going to take him out of it. In 17th, 39 laps down. Jaden Darling in 18th, also 39 laps down. Corey Dar in 19th. Dean Gagliano in 20th. Wesley Jeanette, and then Clayton Hack will round out your your field here in the 22nd position. Matt, we mentioned next week we'll be at, Rockingham. I unfortunately don't get to see it. I'll be driving back up here still from from the Miami race. Other than that, it's going to be some exciting racing. Matt, thank you again for joining us for tonight's race here in Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Mile of the Elite Entertainment ARCA Series. Brought to you live here from the Sim Racing Media Network. As Matt mentioned earlier, be sure to like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do to get our this YouTube algorithm working. Get your friends and family watching. Always helps the drivers who are racing. The sponsors out there, really puts them out. Really shows and proves why what they're doing is truly helping the sim racing community as a whole. Aside from that, we hope everybody has a great evening. We'll see everyone next week. All right, we're all set. Oof. Hey, man. My pleasure.